Thoroughbred Week with John Henderson is presented by Acti-Statin, Adena Springs, Bloodstock Research, Breeders' Cup, Castleton Lions, Claiborne Farm, Dock Lanes Veterinary Pharmacy, Horse Sense, Keeneland, Lanes End, Malone's, New York Thoroughbred Breeding and Development Fund, OCD Pellets, Old Colony Insurance Services, Paul Miller Ford, built Ford tough for over 60 years, Quillen Leather and Tack, Sally Horse Fans, Shadwell Farm, and Windstar Farm.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Thoroughbred Week, featuring 6 stakes races from Delta Downs, including a front-running winner of the $1 million Delta Jackpot and a Kentucky shipper in the $500,000 Delta Princess. We begin with 3-year-old stakes action presented by BC2A Paste. Reduce the likelihood of tying up with BC2A Paste. 3-year-old fillies at Delta Downs in the Orleans Stakes. Bring in Rescue, the even money favorite. Don Stevens picks up the call.
The half-mile went in 47 seconds, and now Flashy Campaign strikes the lead. Blush with Reality is dropped back on the inside. She looks to be finished. Then comes Canticle moving into second. Sassy Kisses between horses. Rumbling up on the outside, Boss Barney's Babe, but that one's trapped in there by Quiet Success, who comes 4 wide to the top of the lane. They've straightened away. It's Flashy Campaign under a drive. On the outside, it's Quiet Success. Here comes Boss Barney's Babe, who's absolutely flying late, and Boss Barney's Babe and Miguel Mena win it.
7-2 second choice Boss Barney's Babe outfinishes Flashy Campaign by a length. The second stakes victory on the card for Miguel Mena. The Keeneland Cells graduate runs 7 furlongs in 1:25.2. Stakes placed at Oaklawn Park in April. Boss Barney's Babe records her first stakes victory. The Brett Calhoun trainee ships in from Churchill Downs, where she won an allowance optional claimer in her latest. The filly by Street Boss was bred in Kentucky by Lynn and Kathy Jones, Lou Gaida, and Chris Cristoforo. A $25,000 Keeneland September yearling, Boss Barney's Babe has earned $155,000 for Barnett Stables. Next from Delta Downs, 3-year-olds in the Samstown Stakes. High Tie, the 9-5 favorite. Once again, here's Don Stevens.
Here comes the far turn, the half in a blistering 45.78. They're coming for home. Ken Tohill gets to work aboard Black Bear, and he leads by a neck. High Tie is in second, but here comes the Cavalry, and it's Hip 469 on the outside, first to attack, and Hip 469 to stick ahead in front. Black Bear is back to second. Rumbling up there into third now is Runaway Stephen, and behind those it's One King's Man, but coming down to the finish at 8-1, it's Hip 469 in the Samstown.
Hip 469 closes into the hot pace to score by 3 3/4 lengths over Runaway Stephen, who takes a 3-way photo for place. Robbie Alvarado aboard the OBS Cells graduate in 1:24.4. Previously trained by Bobby Barnett, Hip 469 is 3 for 3 for Joseph Foster, including an allowance sprint over the track in his latest. The colt by Southern Image was bred in Kentucky by Charles Dieters and was a $4,500 OBS August yearling, turned $56,000 2-year-old. Hip 469 has earned $142,000 for J. Lou LLC. Watch Thoroughbred Week replays online at tbredweek.com. Welcome back to Thoroughbred Week with a long shot winner of the Grade 3 River City Handicap coming up in this segment. We begin with fillies and mares at Delta Downs in the Treasure Chest Stakes. Touch Magic at 6-5, a slight favorite over Class Included. Don Stevens picks up the call.
They have a half-mile to race. The opening half went in 47.85. We have a 3-pronged battle for the lead. It's Pretty Not This Long Shot down on the inside. Then Livy McKenzie between horses. On the outside, that is Touch Magic. She's dropping back a bit. Class Included looks to rally past her, and still bottled up is Juliet Deer. As they approach the far turn, Forgotten People's getting underway from the back of the pack, as now trailing is a Running Pop. They're midway around the far turn, and we have a new leader. It's Class Included. 3/4 went in 1:12.60, and Class Included takes off. Now she leads Livy McKenzie by a length and a half, now 2. Juliet Deer is 3 wide in third. Touch Magic is fourth, and then comes Pretty Not, but they're into the stretch, and Class Included at the 16th pole is absolutely full of run. Class Included and Rosie Napravnik to win the treasure chest by about 6 lengths on the line.
In her first start off a 6-month layoff, Class Included draws off to defeat Livy McKenzie by 6 lengths. Rosie Napravnik, the winning jockey, in 1:38.4. A four-time stakes winner last season, Class Included was winless in 3 previous starts this year for Dale Romans after being acquired privately by Britland Stable. This was her first out for trainer Ron Fauché. The 5-year-old mare by Include was bred in Kentucky by Michael and Amy Fureborn. Class Included has earned $507,000. The best performance of the week, presented by Best PC Service. Contact Best PC Service for a free business consultation. Next, the Delta Mile. Uncaptured and Agent DiNozzo, 2-1 co-favorites. Again, here's Don Stevens.
Half mile here in 45-16. Red Hot Rush still on the lead. Grand Contender is the closest pursuer there, racing in second. It's 4 lengths back to Nate's Mineshaft. He's now running side by side with Allsvid, and then comes Do No Harm. It's another 4 or 5 lengths back to Troilus, and then on the outside, starting to gain here is Agent DiNozzo, but he's still got about 8 lengths to come, and running behind him is Uncaptured, getting underway, as dropping completely out now is Decisive Moment. 3/4 at 1:10.45, and Grand Contender has taken over the lead. Gerard Melanson goes to work. It's a scramble to catch up to him. It's only a furlong to go, and they're into the stretch. Grand Contender up by 7. Agent DiNozzo trying to get to him. On the outside, it's Uncaptured, but Grand Contender just keeps on going at 10-1. He'll win the Delta Mile.
10-1, Grand Contender takes it by 3 1/4 lengths over Agent DiNozzo, who noses out Uncaptured for place. A sweep by Keeneland Sells graduates. Gerard Melanson up in track record time of 1:36.4, a 1:01 brisk speed rating. Melanson and trainer Tom Amos teaming up for the first of 2 stakes wins on the card. This was the first stakes victory for Grand Contender, who was claimed by Maggie Moss for $20,000 in August 2012 at Saratoga. After finishing 3rd in his seasonal debut in August, he's reeled off 4 consecutive victories, all at a flat mile. The 5-year-old gelding by Strong Contender was bred in Kentucky by Epona Thoroughbreds. Grand Contender has earned nearly $208,000. American Produce Records is now available online. Visit brisnet.com/APR for unlimited access to the pedigrees of more than 3 million thoroughbreds for just $275 a year. To Churchill Downs for the Grade 3 River City Handicap on turf. Coalport Hill, the 5-2 favorite. Mark Johnson has the call.
And they're off in the River City Handicap, and Sky Ring came in on the field there and gave 1 or 2 a little bit of a bump. Very unbalanced coming out of the gate was Coalport, whose rider really was unbalanced for a stride or 2, and Potomac River was also taken right out of his stride early. So a dramatic start, and Villendry, the favourite, dropped right out the back of the field. So they come up past us with a circuit to go in the River City Handicap, and it is Sky Ring on the outside of Old Army as they go into the turn. Set the Sail is racing in 3rd, and in 4th is Grand Arch, followed then on the inside by Olympic Thunder, who's racing in 5th, and then last year's winner Keep Up in 6th. Coalport to the Hedge is in 7th, followed round the outside by Daddy Knows Best. It was 24 seconds flat for the opening quarter mile on the soft turf. Potomac River is last but 1, and Villendry, held up by Julien Leperoux, is racing some 9 lengths off the leader, who is Old Army, who clicked off the half in 48.2. Through halfway in the 36th running of the River City Handicap, it is Old Army who has the lead. Sky Ring in 2nd, 2 lengths away. Set the Sail is in 3rd. Grand Arch will go to the turn, racing in 4th position. Losing ground now is Olympic Thunder against the inside hedge, as making ground now around the outside. Here comes Potomac River. Villendry is still last. Keep Up is last but 2 as they now swing the corner. A 1/4 of a mile to go. Old Army taken on by Sky Ring. Set the Sail and Potomac River running huge to the outside. Next is Grand Arch as they race inside the final furlong and a half. Villendry now begins to pick up down the outside together with Daddy Knows Best. They're inside the final furlong. Potomac River trying to spring the shock is out in front by 2 lengths and going away for Juan Vargas and racing up towards the line. A shock winner of the River City Handicap.
The longest shot on the board, 45-1 Potomac River by Lanes and Stag in English Channel. The winner by 2 lengths over 16-1, Set the Sail. Juan Vargas aboard in 151-1, a 101 brisk speed rating. Based at Turfway Park with trainer Sergio Baez, Potomac River gets his first stakes victory. The turf specialist was coming off a runner-up finish in an optional creamer at Churchill Downs. The 4-year-old colt was bred in Kentucky by Mareworth Farm and was purchased for $2,300 as a 3-year-old. Now owned by Maribel Ruelas, Potomac River has earned $231,000. The Lanes and Stallion of the Week is Champion English Channel, the number 3 cumulative third crop sire by earnings and by black type horses. His most recent graded winner is Potomac River, who made a late sweeping run to capture the River City handicap by 2 lengths last week into Churchill. Call today to buy a season to this top young sire. Welcome back to Thoroughbred Week with the Grade 3 Delta Downs Princess Stakes just ahead in this segment. We begin with 2-year-old fillies at Woodbine and the Glorious Song Stakes. Norquay at 7-5, a slight favorite over Sensational Bunny. Dan Loisel has the call.
They head to the 3/8 pole. Sensational Bunny, hounded by Ida Bambina. Spring Like a Cobra is out there 3 wide. Riding the rail is Shanna Gary, who'll need running room. Henry's Island called on for more run by Wilson in the run to the quarter pole. Norquay still has 4 to come, and they're coming over to the top of the stretch in the Glorious Song. Down on the inside, Sensational Bunny. Getting a great trip there with Shanna Gary. Angles out, let's see what she's got. Sensational Bunny, Shanna Gary, far outside for Henry's Island as they come to the last 16th. Sensational Bunny was sensational this afternoon. Under a hand ride to win the Glorious Song.
Sensational Bunny, the front running winner by 3 3/4 lengths over late closing Norquay. Patrick Husbands aboard the OBS Sales Graduate in 1:23-1. Sensational Bunny making her first start for trainer Mark Cassie and Gary Barber, who purchased the filly privately after she romped to a 3-length first out maiden victory over the track. The filly by Sensational was bred in Kentucky by Bob Afford and Lanny Bloodstock and was a $20,000 OBS June 2-year-old. Sensational Bunny has earned nearly $104,000. Sensational Bunny paid $520 to win and is the Malone's favorite of the week, presented by Malone's, Lexington's favorite steakhouse. Next, the Grade 3 Delta Downs Princess Stakes. Bana, the 5-2 favorite. Don Stevens has the call.
And they're off in the Delta Downs Princess, and everybody came away well. Zip On is showing speed right out of the gate. Bana moves up right beside that one, and behind Rivals, it's Misbehavior. Down on the inside, it's Tepin, a very close fourth as they step onto the main track. Settling back in the field is Concave, well off the rail, and behind that one is Appreciating. And now trailing early on is Synapse, about 8 lengths from the front with 1 lap to go. Zip On and Robbie Alvarado have the lead, but here comes a challenge from Bana early to the outside. They win a quarter in 22 and 94/100ths. They're well bunched going to the backstretch. Down along the inside, Tepin has a ground-saving spot racing in third. Misbehavior advances from fourth. Length and a half from there, and you'll find Concave and Appreciating running right together. Then a length and a half back to the trailer, who is Synapse onto the backstretch. The half mile went in 47 and 51/100ths. They're racing up the backstretch now with Zip On still showing the way. Bana is breathing down her neck and getting a little bit closer. Misbehavior's in a striking position on the outside third. Tepin is trapped behind Rivals. Moving up the inside is Synapse, starting to get closer now, those front 5 within 2 lengths. Then comes Concave, who'll need to do a lot better as they're into the turn and coming for home. Bana now accelerates and went 3/4 at 1:12:57. Bana is taking off under Rosie Napravnik. She has it by a length, but here comes Tepin. Tepin starting to rally now as Zip On is given out. Misbehavior's not giving enough. Here's the final furlong. Bana is set down. Tepin to the outside is coming after her. A 16th of a mile ago. It is Bana. It is Tepin, and Tepin gets the lead late, and Tepin wins the Delta Downs Princess.
Tepin runs by Bana to defeat the favorite by a length and a quarter. Miguel Mena aboard in 1:38-4. Tepin impressively broke her maiden in her second start over the Keeneland Poly Track. It was last seen finishing third as the favorite in the Rags to Riches Stakes at Churchill Downs. The filly by Bernstein was bred in Kentucky by Mockmer Hall and was a $140,000 Saratoga yearling. Another stakes winner for Mark Cassie, Tepin has earned $342,000 for Robert Masterson. Miguel Mena with the Safe Ride of the Week, presented by Sally Horse Fans, the safest way to the winner's circle. to Betfair Hollywood Park for 2-year-olds in the Real Quiet Stakes. Green Mask, a sharp maiden winner at Keeneland, the 6-5 favorite. Vic Stauffer has the call.
They run up the backstretch in the 8th. Real Quiet Stakes, 2-year-olds with 5 furlongs to run, and Karma King is the leader. Karma King, 2 lengths in front of Life is a Joy in second. Green Mask continues to travel third. He's about 3 off the lead. Here's Green Mask to tug Kentasormo up into a joint second now, and he's after Karma King. Green Mask takes second, 1.5 lengths from the front. Better Bet will be 3 wide. Beach Hut and Electric Eddie are 3 from the front. Here's Electric Eddie to move through at the rail and take third. Tamarando has 6 lengths to make up. Mr. Splash has dropped out last midway on the far turn. Karma King continues to lead. Green Mask has every chance to outfinish him. They're 1/4 mile from home. The whip is out on Beach Hut. Electric Eddie has a run. He needs a way through. Life is a Joy. Tamarando closing in the center of the racetrack, and you better take a look at Tamarando. Karma King, Green Mask, and an on-rushing Tamarando. And Tamarando has run right by to take over the lead. Karma King, Green Mask, and Electric Eddie battle for minor awards as Tamarando runs away and wins the Real Quiet.
5-2 second choice. Tamarando, the last to first winner, by 3 3/4 lengths over the maiden Electric Eddie. Rafael Bejarano up in 1:44-1. Winner of the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity, Tamarando had been third in his last 2 starts, including the Golden State Juvenile on Breeders' Cup weekend at Santa Anita. The colt by Bertrando was bred in California by his owners, Mr. and Mrs. Larry Williams. Trained by Jerry Hollendorfer, Tamarando has earned $355,000.
Thoroughbred Week is presented by Remard's total line of equine products featuring total joint care, the complete joint product with hyaluronic acid. For more information, please log on to remardinc.com.
Time now for the feature race of the week, presented by Keeneland, investing in racing's future since 1936. It's the $1 million Delta Downs Jackpot Stakes for 2-year-olds. Kentucky shipper Coastline, the 8-5 favorite. Here's the call by Don Stevens.
And they're off in the $1 million Delta Downs Jackpot, and it was not a good start for Coastline, who trails the field early. Mighty Brown came away fast and goes to the lead. Rise Up is on the outside. To the inside, it's Roman Unbridled, and behind rivals, you'll find Rum Point and Casiguapo. Big Bazinga's way on the outside. The back group early on is Why Are You Awesome, followed here by Flat Gone. Then comes Rank Has Privileges, and Coastline is the trailer about 10 lengths from the front as Rise Up now takes the lead with 1 lap to go. It's Gerard Melanson and Rise Up leading affairs. Mighty Brown is right behind the leader, and then comes Rum Point, who's between rivals. On the outside, that's Casiguapo. Tucked in at the rail is Roman Unbridled. Then comes Big Bazinga within about 4 lengths of the lead after the quarter went in 22.82. It's Why Are You Awesome back in the field. Then Coastline now out of the trailer spot. Next to him out there is Rank Has Privileges, and now the trailer is Flat Gone. The half mile in 46 and 3100ths. Rise Up trying to nurse it on the lead. To the outside, it's Casiguapo getting a little bit closer. Big Bazinga's in with a chance, about 3 off the rail. Mighty Brown is tucked in down on the inside. Backing up a bit is Rum Point. Here comes Rank Has Privileges and Coastline. They're both coming after the leaders after 3 quarters. Went in 1:11.94. Rise Up looks to have plenty left. Gerard Melanson is sitting chilly, but here comes Rank Has Privileges. Mighty Brown is under a drive on the inside. Then Casiguapo. Big Bazinga has checked out. Coastline is back from there, but it's Rise Up who has the lead. Rise Up went 3 quarters, 1:11.94. He's coming to the 16th pole. It's Gerard Melanson and Rise Up. Air up the tires, gas up the tank. He's on the road to the Derby.
2-1 second choice. Rise Up rolls to a front-running 6-length victory over Casiguapo. Gerard Melanson aboard the Keeneland Cells graduate in stakes record time of 1:44-3. The third stakes victory for Rise Up, who was a 6-length winner of the Jean Lafitte Stakes over the track. Paul and Andrina Van Doren purchased the winner privately after he easily won the Mountaineer Juvenile Stakes in August and turned the precocious colt over to trainer Tom Amos. The Kentucky-bred colt by Rockport Harbor began his career racing for his breeder, Cottonwood Stables. Rise Up has won 4 of 6 starts and has earned $810,000. We'll have all the holiday weekend stakes action, including the Grade 1 Clark Handicap from Churchill Downs, the Grade 1 Cigar Mile from Aqueduct featuring Groupie Doll, and both the Grade 1 Matriarch Stakes and the Grade 1 Hollywood Derby next week here on Thoroughbred Week.
Thoroughbred Week with John Henderson has been presented by Acti Staten, Adena Springs, Bloodstock Research, Breeders' Cup, Castleton Lions, Claiborne Farm, Dock Lanes Veterinary Pharmacy, Horse Sense, Keeneland, Lanes End, Malone's, New York Thoroughbred Breeding and Development Fund, OCD Pellets, Old Colony Insurance Services, Paul Miller Ford, built Ford Tough for over 60 years. Cool & Leather and Tack, Sally Horse Stands, Shadwell Farm, and Windstar Farm. Online at teambredweek.com.